Okay, so there's this show. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Skins. I'm just kidding. I am totally obsessed with Skins. Absolutely 100% obsessed. And the thing with Skins is, it's a British show. So with the British broadcasting, you can basically show a lot of things that in America you can't. Um, so, shut up, telephone. Making a video. So, my favorite character, I got into Skins a couple months ago on the way home from school on a train ride. My favorite character is Tony Stonem. Sex bomb. Hit by a bus. That guy. I could go on and on for hours about Tony Stonem. I really could. Honestly. Ugh. I love him. I love Nicholas Hoult. I love that character. It's so in-depth. Okay, so this is my rant about Tony Stonem. You first meet Tony Stonem, and he seems to be blank. But then he starts talking. And you realize this kid's smarter than he looks. He's not just a pretty boy, he's intelligent. I just shook my whole computer. Okay, he's not just a pretty boy, he's intelligent. He's devious. He's almost a sociopath. Now, what you're supposed to do with that character, what the Skins writers planned on doing with that character, is taking Tony and making him hated. They wanted you to hate Tony. They wanted you to hate him. Mission accomplished. You hated him. You hated the way he talked, the way he spoke, how he treated people, how he treated his girlfriend, how he treated his best friend. He treated them like absolute shit. But the kid knew he had straight A's. Parents loved him. He was on track. According to adults. But when we got to know Tony, we knew there was more to him than what the parents saw. Because parents saw happy-go-lucky, good old Tony. What we saw was a different person. We saw Tony as manipulative, as a friend, as a brother. We saw all different sides of Tony Stonem. Nicholas Hoult plays this character perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. And just, oh, it's amazing what he did with that. And really what Tony represents is what every kid wants to be, taken too far. Parents trust him. Parents absolutely adore Tony. If you ever notice when he's talking to an adult, they love him. Girls want to have sex with him. Guys want to be him. This is the type of guy he is. And no matter how shitty he treats you, you always go back to Tony. Always. If you're friends with him, if you date him, if you have sex with him, if you buy drugs off him, you always go back to Tony. Now, first you're supposed to absolutely hate Tony, despise him, think he's a fucking asshole. But there's something underneath it. He's charming. He's devious. He's basically a sociopath. And the best thing about Tony is that he's all of these things, but he also has a heart underneath of it that you kind of have to wait. Actually, in the first episode, when he's walking around on the phone, and then he goes from the posh school to try out for choir over to the garden to hang out with his friends, he meets this guy who's on the street who has a shitty job selling magazines that no one buys. He's friends with this guy. Tony is friends with someone he barely knows, and that's amazing because this kid, he's popular, he gets good grades, he parties all the time, he's well liked, he's hot. Can't deny that. He is a hot dude. This sociopath has a soft side. This near sociopathic teenager has a soft side. And we first see that with his sister, with Effie. Because with Effie, that's his heart, that's his soul. His true love is Effie, at least for now. The way he treats Michelle and the way he treats Sid for the first most of the first season is horrible, absolutely shit. But he's charming, he's devious, and he loves his sister. 110% loves his sister. 1000% loves his sister. They do anything for each other, and it's very apparent in the first few minutes of the show. It's apparent, especially in Effie's episode of series 1. If you notice in that episode, he's desperate, he's angry, he's scared. He needs to find his sister. He needs to find his sister now. And he can't. He cannot find his sister. He's terrified. So, because he cannot find his sister, he starts lashing out at Sid. At anyone, really. He lashes out at everyone. He gets angry. He berates the fucking shit out of Sid. He berates Sid more than, more than he's ever berated Sid before. And, it's just this massive... It's Tony lashing out because he can't... He feels like he can't do anything correctly, because he can't find his sister, and that... It gives off utter desperation to him. He's terrified that he can't find his sister. And the struggle I may get emotional here, sorry. The struggle he has to go through to get his sister back, because he found his sister, is dealing with a real psychopath. The struggle he has to go through to get his sister back is something that will haunt him psychologically for his whole life. And we all know Tony in psychological. Because the thing with Tony Stonem is, you grew to hate him. Absolutely despise him. First couple episodes. You see his heart in the first episode, and then in Effie's episode, and in the last episode when he confesses his love to Michelle and gets hit by a bus. Thankfully, I came into Skins after the first and second seasons, or else I would have died watching that cliffhanger and having to wait to find out if Tony was fucking alive. Because trust me, if I had watched that when season 1 first came out, I'd be like, no! I would be a wreck. I'd be a total wreck if Tony wasn't alive. So yeah. You see Tony like this, and then you see Tony broken. You see him down. You see him as a shell of himself. There's no Tony in there when you meet him again. There's no Tony. He's empty. He's alone. He's fucked up. And his best friend... Stop. His best friend and his girlfriend left him. They have left him. Now, a girl he barely knows, and his sister, and one friend who is going through his own struggle, his own homosexual struggles, is absolutely terrified. They're the only people that have been there for Tony over the last few years, over the last few months, were Effie, Maxie. Even his parents weren't there. Even his parents weren't there. His mom was off in her own fucking little doodah world, and Dad's off doing business or whatever, and he's left alone. He's got Maxie, Effie, and some bitch he barely knows, who isn't even there for him. So he's basically got 2 people. And he's broken, and he has to relearn everything, and he's terrified, and he's scared, and he's a shell of himself. He's a shell of the former Stonem. So we get to that series, and he's broken. And when he regains his mojo, he's a mixture of this broken, sad, depressed, emotional, scared, terrified self, and a shell, and then Tony Stonem. And they come together as one, and he becomes a full-fledged character. And we leave him as he's an adult, and he's regained his true self. I just want to say, Nicholas Hoult, phenomenal job as Tony Stonem. Thank you for bringing that character into my heart, because he will forever be there encased right here. Thanks. That's my video on Tony. K-Paw!